So the practice test is one thing we were going to look at today after we get done with our reading, but it is the test that the textbook company puts out. Okay? So this is the one the textbook company says, this is a test a test you can give. You can see it says Form A. There are different forms of it. But what we usually do is we put on a version of the test, and you can use that as a study guide. It's a pretty good study guide because on average, probably 80% of these questions end up on your real test. Okay? So if you knew all the answers to these questions on test day, you could probably at least get a B on the test. So that's not a bad place to start, right? Most people would be pretty happy at least starting with a B. So this is a pretty good way to do that. And another thing that I would do, and I'm suggesting we start doing today, each day when we get done with our reading, just read through the test real quickly and see if there's the questions that we just read about that you could answer. So there are 3 sections in chapter 1. So after we get done with section 1, we should probably be able to answer about a third of these questions. And after section 2, another third, and after section 3, you should be able to answer all the questions. So if you just go through each day after we read and say, oh yeah, we read about that, here's the answer, here's the answer, here's the answer. By the time we get done with the chapter, you would have a filled out, completed study guide that you could study from. Okay? It is a PDF form, so what I would probably do is either make a separate document or a piece of paper and just write down your answers. I'm not sure if the version of Kami that you guys have on your Chromebook will let you save that and write on it. Maybe it will. Somebody can try that if you want to. But that is a pretty good review sheet right there. So in addition to that, let's go. So in addition to that chapter test, again, there are the 3 Kahoots for the 3 sections. You just need to make yourself an account with Kahoot if you haven't done that. And there's the Quizlet. The audio files, we're still wrestling around with the support staff to see, they don't seem to be working yet on Chromebooks. They've worked for years and years and years. I've used these files and they work just fine on Chromebooks until this year. So apparently there's been some update with the Chrome service system and it doesn't like MP3s right now or something. But we're trying to get that figured out. All right, so we are going to go through section 1. That's in the actual textbook. So if I come down here to the 6th grade social studies textbook, click on it. I have the atlas, the bibliography, chapter 1. Okay, now, another nice thing about having it on PDF, I can zoom in and out, make it a little bigger if I want to on my screen. You guys can do that as well when you're going through it. Let's take a look at the chapters, how they're set up. Remember I said that I'm going to teach you how to use your textbook so it makes your work go from this much work to that much work? Well, this is part of how we're going to do it. Your chapter is split into sections. We generally do 1 section at a time. And to begin with, we're going to do parts of sections at a time. We really baby step into this, okay? This tells you what each section is going to be called, what it's about. It gives you the main idea when you get to that section. What's that section about? What are the vocab terms and what page are they on? So a lot of times it even gives you an idea of how to set up some notes if you wanted to take notes while you're reading. Okay? Let's go back up here to the heading. So here's section 1, studying geography. Here's a blue heading, right? It says, what is geography? Somebody keep count of how many blue headings we get to. So here's 1. So you can also see that a lot of the vocab terms are highlighted and bold-faced so you can find them easily. That's nice and easy. Here's another boldface term, or boldface heading. How many is that now? 2. Keep going. There's 3. Okay, now here is the assignment that we get to at the end of the section. Okay, reviewing ideas, terms, and places. So instead of writing that out every time, I call it RITP. So these are the RITP questions. The little red words in front of the questions are not part of the question. The little red words are telling you what you need to do for that question. So for question 1A, you need to write a definition. For 1B, you need to explain something. For 2A, you need to identify something. For 2B, you need to elaborate. Ooh, that's a big word. What does elaborate mean?
To think?
You generally have to think and then do what? Explain it. Tell me more about it. Okay? Describe something, and then you're going to compare and contrast something. So again, these red words are not part of the question. Each year, I have several students who, after 10 minutes or so of trying to do it, come up and go, I don't understand this sentence because it doesn't make any sense. Well, yeah, because the red word's not part of the sentence. It's just telling you what to do. Okay? Now, how many blue headings did we have?
50.
How many numbers do we have? So guess what? All the number 1 questions, A's and B's, come after that first blue heading. All the number 2 questions come after the second blue heading, and all the number 3 questions come after the third blue heading. So instead of looking through the entire section, 9 pages of chapter, you're only looking through 1 or 2 pages for each of these answers. So it makes things much easier to find. It's always works out that way, that all these questions are going to be right after the first blue heading, second blue heading, third blue heading. Okay? We don't get down to the critical thinking. We stop at the RITP, we don't do the critical thinking ones. All right? Or the focus on writing or anything else. So your assignment tomorrow, we're not doing it today, tomorrow your assignment would be to do these questions. Okay? And we'll work on those together even as a class. What I would like you guys to do at this point is to go ahead and open up this document in Classroom and get yourself to the beginning of Chapter 1, Section 1. And today we're just going to go through the reading of it.